Hello, everyone. I am Darkness, and those that actually joined the Discord and everything just call me Steven. So, call me whatever you like today because this is personal. But today was supposed to be a video of, it's going to be a kind of a perfect setup. I had somebody that's a friend of mine that's in the Discord that decided to send me a package. It was going to be apparently funny. I still don't know what's going to come out of that. I was just told that when I open it, make sure I have tarps, which is so cryptic that it's not even funny, and scares me senseless as to what could be in there. But that video is not being done today, and this is not an April Fool's joke. This is a very serious subject, so don't take it as if I'm just trying to. I went to pick it up today, and when I got to the post office, it's getting closer to, they close at noon. It's getting closer to closing time. It's a Saturday. No one wants to be there. I understand. But when I got there and I had the slip for the post office, it's things went wrong. I'm not necessarily going to go into detail because I don't need other people necessarily jumping into the fray on this one. I'm going to tell you why. There is a right and wrong way to deal with racism. There is a right and wrong way to make sure that the proper steps and actions are taken. There's a very, very wrong way to go about these things. And most people let their emotions drive them. It is an emotional subject, but you have to have a good balance of having the drive that your emotions bring and having the logical sense of knowing exactly the steps you need to take to rectify it. And those steps are dependent on the circumstances. So something happened, and it was between me and one worker. And I was not able to get the package, and I also had to leave the facility, and I let my emotions get the best of me for 2 seconds, saying that I wasn't going to leave until I could report what he had said to me and get my package, because I still wanted to do a really funny unboxing for you guys, which will still happen. When you go about these things, this is not my first rodeo. Look at my skin color, and I live near Atlanta. It's not like I've never encountered it before. There are people who use very good causes for very bad things, and there are people who blow things so far out of proportion that it can't be taken seriously. If this were a case of a whole group of people in a very much patterned and cohesive as a group form of racism. I don't know quite. I'm looking for the words and they're not quite coming right. But if this were like a group of people who were doing the same thing and it was a pattern that I'm just another repeat in it, then yes, this would be a time that you would do something like go big with it. And but there's always a danger with going big with anything that has to deal with trying for equal rights or racism or sexism, bigotry, anything like that. You've got to really put it in perspective, because when you decide to try to take it out of proportion to what it is and what scale it's on, there's always going to be opportunistic people that are parasitic on the fact that others are trying to do something to make things better, and instead they take the opportunity to make things better for themselves. And we can even see that most recently with things that have happened with police officers and whatnot, and there have been riots about elections, about this, that, and the other, and most of them are peaceful, and that is the right way to go about it. But then you hear about a riot that something goes wrong. It goes amiss. It goes awry. And people get hurt, uh, and then on top of that, things are stolen, places are looted, um, places that respectable businesses that had nothing to do with this topic, yet people are just breaking in because in the chaos of a riot, why not? Um, what just happened today was one person. It was two people. It was me and one other person. It wasn't a systematic, abusive, racist system that I'm fighting. It was one person who did and said things that they shouldn't have. And I'm going to treat it as such. And I'm going to take the proper steps. I don't want anyone, coming to necessarily my defense on it. I can handle it. People get really upset in live streams also when people get in there and slam me for race, that they just want to like type the N-word or something in there. And usually I can have it blocked out. I have it so that certain comments are blocked. But every now and then one still somehow slips through the cracks. And it happened last night on last night's stream. The proper way to handle it, what I try to do is I just ignore it and block the person. I ban them, and everyone else gets really upset and offended, and usually starts apologizing to me as if they did something wrong, because they didn't catch the comment first or something like that, or they feel sorry for me, or they I've lived with this skin color my whole life. And I am old enough now to have the wisdom to know that it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time with one person on YouTube being a troll about it, being a jerk and he's just trying to get a response. And sometimes you can say that, go about it as saying, it's because they feel insecure about themselves, or they do this and the other. But the internet's a whole different beast. Sometimes people just like creating chaos for the sake of chaos, and there is no other good reason for it. They like to see the outcome of it, and that is something new, both new and old. New because of what the internet brings with it, and old because there have been people like that ages and ages past. But I blocked them. That's all I did. I had to say something in the stream because there then a bunch of comments of people saying that I'm so sorry and I'm sorry I didn't catch it and this, that, and the other. You didn't have to apologize. He's not worth my time. He's barely worth the time that I'm using right now to put into a video about it. He's not worth this time. But since the topic's here, I'm bringing it up. But he's not worth even the mention in a video. He's not worth the time of me like anguishing over it, being sad, angry. His opinion matters nothing to me. He wanted to do something to get an emotion out of me, and he's not going to get it. He won't. I've lived too long now to give in to such petty things. And, it is petty, really. It is little, and it is something that should be just, it's an anonymous person on the internet. I don't care. I don't care about them and their opinion if they're going to act like that. I don't need to care. I don't want to care, and I don't. So I just block it, and I go on with my life. There is literally in my head no part where I'm like, my God, a stranger said something and now I'm so torn. It's literally like the biggest pain about it is the fact that I've got to lean forward to the mouse and click it real quick to get it to go away. And then then I have to go. But like the fact that I'm comfortable now on my new setup, I'm on my couch, I'm leaning back and I see that. And I'm like, I gotta lean forward. Dadgummit. And just, that's what I pretty much, he's, the time and effort he's worth is the time that I have to go like, stretch. And that's it. That's it. But I guess the point of this video is to say that, things like that happen. They're not as bad as they used to be. Even 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. those who say that it still is are usually looking at a specific set of circumstances. They're looking at a specific struggle, and to them it is. So for people in different walks of life, but as a whole picture, as a general sense of where the world is at least my part of the world, because I cannot speak for the whole world. There is completely different cultures that I know nothing about and I can't speak on. As a whole general sense of North America in general, there we go. That'll make sense. We had a black president. We almost had a woman president. I will not say opinions on that here, but like it's, Tupac rapped back in the day that we have yet to see a black president, and he would have been proud to see that there was one, and that he was reelected, and that he was liked. There are still things wrong, but we have to put it in perspective. When it's fighting for a bigger cause, you go big, and you deal with the consequences of people taking advantage of it. But the bigger cause is worth it as long as it's being done correctly. Peaceful protest, speaking out, making your voice heard, going to representatives, Congress, going and staging just talks and events, making sure that it doesn't get swept under the rug. And it gets media attention and people debate about it. And as long as, even if they make you angry that the newscaster said something, as long as it's still being talked about, it's still an issue that can be taken care of. As soon as it gets out of the limelight, then it kind of dies and can be swept under the rug. So that's why there's a lot of times that when it's a problem that's systemic in a system, wow, that's a bit redundant, but a systemic problem within a specific set of circumstances that is bigger than yourself and your one grievance against one person, then there's something more to do about it. But for this, I'm going to take the proper steps to make sure that this person doesn't get to do this again to somebody else. I'm not going to stage a riot and protest. It was one guy. There's one guy that most likely isn't even happy with his set of circumstances in his life. And, many times a lot of things that get considered racist comments like this or racist actions are only brought out when somebody's temper or emotions get the best of them, that they have probably hidden it and they don't speak about it in public. They don't do this and the other. Their thoughts are their own, and I'm not going to sit here and try to change everyone's thoughts. As soon as their thoughts turn to action is when you have to do something. So, as long as they're keeping their thoughts under control, I don't need to go, but it turned to action, and I'm going to do the same in the correct manner, which is to not necessarily blow it up. It's just to make sure that to climb the ladder until it's made sure that this person is not in a position they can do that anymore. And that's it. There's a time and a place for everything. Everything's got a reason and rhyme to for the idea that when you don't treat it the way it's supposed to be treated, you get fallout. And you always got to think, is the fallout that you create worth the cause you're fighting for? So really think hard when something like that happens about what your response should be, if it deserves a response, if it just doesn't even deserve your attention, if you should ignore it, go on with your life because the opinion doesn't even matter, or if you need to take action and what action needs to be taken, if it needs to be small because it's a very small micro set of circumstances, or if it's something that's a systemic dysfunction within an organization or a set of circumstances. What is it and what needs to be done? So I know what needs to be done. I thank you guys in the Discord for support. I'm sorry there's no unboxing, but It is what it is. I'm going to take care of it, and then I'm going to move on with my life, and maybe I'll talk about it at some other point, simply to show, that yes, this is how it was handled, and this is why it worked, and this is why I shouldn't have done it differently. But you got to really think about it. Everyone's got a brain. Everyone's got a frontal lobe that has a higher level of thinking than just running off your emotions. And you have to remember to use it. You have to remember to take a step back for 1 second, take a deep breath, and ask yourself if your emotions and your logical response are matching up. And if they don't, you really need to reassess before you take action. You really need to do not do something you'd regret. Do not make it worse. And do not give in to somebody who is only spreading hatred. Hate begets hate. It does. Returning it in kind not only makes it worse because it's just made more of it. It doesn't get a point across, but it also all of a sudden can get you into trouble too. And this world has enough problems without having to deal with people's petty grievances against skin colors. So that's it. That's all. I'm sorry there's not an unboxing, and there'll be more things to come later, but that's all I got to say. So thanks for listening to me rant. You can talk to me in the Discord or in the comments. I'm not going to really right now get into too many more details, and I hope to see you guys around. Maybe I'll cool off by doing another live stream here. So I hope to see you guys around for whatever I'm doing really soon. Bye.